What's up, guys? Got another UFC video here today. It's going to be on the Fight Night card, MANUWA versus Anderson. Let's go ahead and get started here. I'm going to start with the Fight Pass prelims. As you can see, it's not going to be really a short video. We got 9 fights here on the Fight Pass prelims, but the whole card is on Fight Pass. The main card has those 4 fights, which is going to be on a separate video. This video is going to be on just the Fight Pass prelims. So we got 9 fights. Let's go ahead and get started here. First fight of the night, we got Lena Landsberg against Luque Pudilova. So these girls already fought before, and Lena ended up winning the fight. It was a very boring fight. It was just a lot of clinch work, a lot of clinch control. Pretty much they were just against the cage, rotating back and forth. But most of the time, Landsberg had the control. And yeah, she pretty much won the fight like that. I mean, there was really not much damage done at all in that fight. Lucy says she's improved in her UFC bio, but I mean, it could just be more of the same from Landsberg. From what I've seen from Lucy, she seems like she does everything okay, but she's not really anything that really stands out or anything like that. Like, she doesn't seem like to be a really good striker or really good on the ground or anything like that. I also seen she also likes taking the fight to the clinch, and in the clinch Landsberg is better. So this is really kind of easy fight to pick, but at the same time you never know with these fights. But I think Landsberg is gonna go ahead and win this fight, guys. She's gonna make it boring just like she did in the first fight. Like I said, Lucy says she's improved. We're gonna go ahead and find out on Saturday, but I predict that this fight's probably going to be boring, and usually the girl fights are kind of fun and whatnot, but I think Landsberg wants to get a win here, especially after coming off that loss to Cyborg. So yeah, I think Landsberg's going to go ahead and get this win, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and pick Landsberg to win by decision. Alright, next fight we got Bradley Scott versus Scott Askham. Scott has good submissions, good guillotine, and Scott Askham's a good striker. Scott also has some good striking, but it's not as high of a level as Scott Askham's is. Let's go ahead and just check out their last fight. So Scott's last fight was against Jocko, where pretty much lost the fight there. He had less significant strikes, got taken down twice. Before, they had a second round submission against Dylan Andrews, and then he lost to Claudio Silva. Usually when he wins by submission, though, I think they're by guillotine or rear naked choke. So it's not like he has like a really good guard or anything like that. What else do we got here? I'm not sure what jiu-jitsu belt he is. Don't see anything on here. But like I said, I mean, usually when you get submissions, it's it's a guillotine or rear naked choke, which are basic submissions and whatnot. Not really like high level jiu-jitsu type of stuff. Anyways, we go to Scott Askham's page. This guy likes his multi, likes throwing head kicks, good striker. Good cardio also, as you can see right there by his summary. Good in the clinch, lands those knees to the body and whatnot. His last fight was against Jack Hermanson, who's a good striker, primarily just really a good boxer. Good hands, a lot of output, and as you can see, he landed just way more than Scott Askham, and he also ended up getting a takedown, so that won him the fight. Before that, he had a really flashy knockout of Chris Dempsey. Before he knocked him out, though, he was getting controlled in the cage, but I don't think Bradley Scott will be able to control him in the cage like that. But yeah, anyways, in that Chris Dempsey fight, yeah, he caught him with a straight punch and then knocked him out with a head kick. Usually when this guy wins his fights, he wins by knockout. So I'm gonna go ahead and just go with the more better striker that I think anyway is, and that's gonna be Scott Askham here. So I think Scott Askham's gonna just outstrike him on the feet, land those leg kicks, land those head kicks, do some damage. Scott does start kind of fast, especially in a Jocko fight. Starts out kind of aggressive, putting pressure on, but I think Askham will be able to counter that with some good strikes. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick Askham to win this fight, guys. And he's a finisher, but I could kind of see the fight going to decision. Bradley Scott doesn't really get finished much, but I'm gonna go ahead and just say Askham third round knockout. Next fight, Ian Entwistle against Brett Johns. This is a very easy pick. Entwistle, all he really got is that, you know, those leg locks or whatever. If you can't get the leg lock, he gets most of the time knocked out in the first round. Like, he just kind of gives up, you know. Yeah, so this guy's not really too good with the whole MMA thing. You know, he's good on the ground with his leg locks, but you know, his striking's not good. And yeah, once he can't get the leg lock, he seems to like lose confidence really quickly in the fight. Brett Johns, this guy seems pretty well rounded, good wrestling, a lot of takedowns, as you can see there by his stats. Who he beat last? Like, he beat some Asian fighter. What's his name was? His name was Kwan Ho Kwok or whatever. Anyways, you can see he landed a lot of takedowns. He showcased a little bit of his striking also in that fight. So overall, I think Johns is just going to be a little bit too much. I think he's going to be too smart to get caught with any submission from Entwistle, especially those leg locks. So, I mean, like I said, this guy, Ian Entwistle, is just kind of like a one-trick pony. Super one-dimensional, no stand-up, and he's been finished every single time that, you know, that he can't get the submission. In the UFC, he's been finished twice in the first round by knockout. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know if Johnson's going to be able to knock him out in that first round, but I think he's going to survive, you know, those leg locks, stay away from the leg locks. Probably take Entwistle down, pound him out, or maybe just keep it on the feet and knock him out on the feet. So I do see Johns here kind of getting a finish. So I'm going to go ahead and say Johns gets a second round knockout. Next fight, we got Tom Breese versus Oluwale Bangbose. This should be a fun fight. We got two strikers here. Bangbose, a straight power striker, very explosive, good punches, good kicks. He's fast. No ground game though. And then we got Tom Breese here, who's more well-rounded, but has really sharp boxing. He's coming off a loss. Used to be undefeated, now he's 10-1. But he does have some submissions also, as you can see there in his record. So, you know, this should be a good fight. I think Tom Breese here is going to be, you know, going to be smart about it though. I think he's going to use his striking to set up the takedowns, get Bangbose on his back, wear him out, especially in the first round, because Bangbose is going to come out really strong and fast in that first round. After that, he seems to start declining and losing power. Pretty much, you know, he starts gassing after round 1. So I think Tom Breese should be able to get the finish also in this fight, guys, and should be able to win because, first of all, he's going to have better gas tank. Now he's moving up to 185. So this guy was our welterweight, and he's a big welterweight, like 6'3". Now he's going up a weight class. He's going to have more cardio, more power and whatnot. And like I said, he's going to be the better fighter on the ground, and his chin doesn't seem questionable. So unless Bangbose here catches him very cleanly and knocks him out early, I just can't see him beating Breese, you know, from what do you call it, the whole three rounds, pretty much is what I'm saying, you know. So it's either Bangbose first round knockout or Tom Breese beats him up and gets that finish. So I'm gonna go ahead and go with Tom Breese here. I think he's just more well-rounded. Also has that sharp boxing, good striking defense there, as you can see in his stats. Also, I think it stays away from that power in that first round. Second round, you know, Bangbose starts off getting tired and whatnot. This guy boxes with him for a little bit, you know, and then goes for that takedown and possibly just gets a ground and pound finish. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick I'm gonna go ahead and pick Tom Breese on this fight, guys. And yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say it's gonna be a second round knockout. All right, next fight we got Marc Diakiese versus Timo Backlund. Diakiese, a good striker and also a decent wrestler, against Timo Backlund, who's primarily just kind of a grappler, you know, all about the submissions and whatnot. From what I've seen, his stand-up is pretty bad. So I'm going to go ahead and side with the more well-rounded fighter here in Marc Diakiese. Marc has shown that if he gets in trouble in the fight, you know, he loses a round, and the next round he'll come out, get a takedown, and just win the round like that, like he's shown in his last fight against Frankie Perez. So I think Marc here will be able to get the win. I think he's going to get a finish here. It's going to be on the feet because, like I said, Backlund here, not really a good striker. Yeah, you you know, the Marc's first fight in the UFC against Lucas Soljavski or whatever. That guy had poor striking, similar to Timu, and I could see a similar type of finish here. So I could see Marc getting that knockout. So I'm going to pick Marc to win the fight, and I think diakiese here gets a go ahead and say a second round knockout. Alright, next fight we got Leon Edwards versus Vicente Luque. Two good strikers. Both of them also can wrestle. You know, some good well-rounded fighters here, but I do prefer one over the other, and the guy I prefer here is Vicente Luque. This guy's been looking really impressive lately. All wins by finish, as you can see there. 45% by knockout, 45% by submission. In the UFC, this guy's been looking really solid. He's on a 4-fight win streak, all 4 wins by finish. His last 2 wins, I think he had first round knockouts. So this guy, he starts fast. You know, he's a fast starter, and he throws fast hands, fast kicks, and everything all power. So this guy's very dangerous. Leon Edwards here. In his last fight, who did he fight again? He fought Tumanov, who's a dangerous striker, and he used this wrestling to pretty much counter Tumanov's striking, obviously, and his power. Vicente, his takedown defense doesn't look too good on paper, but he's shown he can also have some submissions if he gets taken down and whatnot. So I think Vicente here will be able to keep the fight on the feet, and on the feet I just feel he throws way too much volume. He hits hard, he hits fast, and yeah, Leon Edwards here just doesn't throw enough volume and hasn't shown that much knockout power lately. So yeah, I can't see Edwards beating Vicente unless maybe, you know, he's able to like lay on him for like a whole round or something like that. But I think it's going to be hard to take down Vicente here. And yeah, I really like Vicente in this fight, so I'm going to go ahead and pick Luque to win here. Edwards seems like a pretty tough guy. It's going to be hard to finish him, but I think Luque here can get it done. So I'm going to say Luque gets a 3rd round knockout. Next fight we got Daniel Amilenchuk versus Timothy Johnson. I'm going to go ahead and side with Timothy Johnson on this fight, guys. You know, it's a heavyweight fight, so you know anybody could get knocked out here. But Johnson seems to be pretty durable, good chin, and is the way better wrestler. And Daniel got taken down in his last fight by Stefan Struve, who's obviously not really a wrestler. He's a striker. I think Johnson here, you know, saw that fight and saw that, you know, if he wants to get this win here, he's going to have to use his wrestling to win. And yeah, Amilenchuk has shown that he doesn't have too much off his back, and his takedown defense isn't really that good. So I think Timothy comes out here, trying to stand for a little bit and then go for that takedown once he feels Daniel's going to be too much on the feet, because Daniel does have some sharp striking. He's a Polish multi-striker, so I would give the edge in the stand-up to Daniel here, but with the straight power advantage, I give that to Timothy. And like I said, he's going to have that wrestling advantage. So I think Timothy's going to get that takedown, pound him out, and I could see a 2nd round finish here. So I'm going to go ahead and pick Johnson here, 2nd round knockout. Next fight, we got Darren Stewart versus Francimar Barroso. These guys fought before. You know, pretty much looked like Stewart got that finish, but you know, he landed I guess a headbutt, and it looked like I forgot if it broke Barroso's jaw or something like that. Either way, you know, they stopped the fight because of that, and you know, the call ended up getting overturned. I think they marked it as a 1st round finish. It ended up being overturned. But yeah, to me, Stewart looked like the better fighter out there, very aggressive. He's the better striker, has a ton of knockout power, and I think this time he's going to get that finish, and it's going to be a legit finish here. So I could see Stewart coming out there and just destroying him in that 1st round. So I'm going to go ahead and pick Stewart here to win, and I think Stewart gets that 1st round knockout. Alright, now for the main or featured fight here on the Fight Pass prelims, we got Joe Duffy versus Breese Madadi. Joe Duffy's obviously very well rounded, excellent boxing skills, also some good kicks, and really good on the ground also. You know, very, as you can see there by his submission percentage there, man, this guy gets a lot of submissions also, you know, on the ground. He's not just a good boxer. So he's very well rounded. Madadi here, good wrestler, does have some submissions also. Not a lot of knockout power, and his striking isn't as sharp or as crisp as Duffy's here. So I'm gonna go ahead and go with Duffy. I mean, this is a very predictable type of pick. You know, Duffy's like a 6-1 favorite, or let me check that out again. Yeah, he's 6-1 favorite there. So I mean, it makes sense. He's way more well-rounded. Should be able to outstrike Madadi on the feet. His takedown defense should be able to hold up, and if it doesn't, on the ground he has submission skills. So I think Duffy should be able to win the fight anywhere, from every position except maybe the clinch. In the clinch, I could see maybe Madadi getting the better end of it, but I think Duffy has improved since then. So yeah, I think Duffy comes out here with a win, and Madadi is very durable and very hard to finish, but I think Duffy's gonna get that finish. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick Joe Duffy here, and I think he's gonna get a second round knockout. Alright guys, so that's it for my picks. Sorry if I went through them kind of quick. You could always pause the video and you know, rewind it or whatever. But yeah guys, those are my picks. I'm not gonna recap them because that's like 9 fights there, but yeah guys, that's gonna be it for the picks. Subscribe if you're a new viewer. I do these UFC fight pick videos, you know, every time there's a UFC card. I'm pretty late today on uploading this video. I'm gonna be late on the main card video too, but you know, just stay tuned and I'll have it up before the fight start, 100% for sure. But yeah, that's gonna be it for the for my picks, guys. Let me know what you guys think about the picks. Yeah, not much else to say here, so that's gonna be it. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.